he finds a way to get on base and he doesn't strike out. That's one thing
Love
that
that.
he doesn't have holes in his swing like so many of these other guys that are selling out for power, trying to be somebody, trying to do something that's not necessarily in their wheelhouse, where I think Chandler Simpson understands his game.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Rays, your daily podcast covering everything Tampa Bay Rays, from game analysis to player interviews. We've got you covered with all the latest news and insights. My name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano,
bringing you expert analysis and passionate discussions about our beloved Rays.
Whether you're a diehard fan who vividly remembers Longo's Game 162 just like us,
or you remember the early Devil Ray days of Wade Boggs and Carl Crawford,
we're here to break down every play, every trade, and every milestone. In fact, this is our 6th season covering the Rays daily.
In every season up until now, they've gone to the playoffs, but baseball does still remain. So grab your favorite Rays gear, settle in, subscribe to our Locked On Rays YouTube channel and other podcast platforms. You can also find us on the X Machine and the Instagram machine at Locked On Rays.
Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase.
All right, one of our favorite types of episodes to do, mailbag episode. And without further ado, let's get right into it. This first question from Jonathan Johns. He says, "Hey guys, it's JJ from Hilton Head. I really think Chandler Simpson deserves a chance next year. He is hitting over 300 versus lefties and righties. He would make the lineup better with the pressure that he creates with his on-base presence."
Well, JJ, thank you so much for writing to us. Chandler Simpson, man, he's been a topic of discussion this whole year because he has been impressive. I mean, I know people have talked about the stolen bases a lot this year. It's because it's amazing. He has 104 as of the time of this recording. 104 this year. That's insane. By the way, he's only being caught 17. That's
not a bad percentage.
I mean, that's insane, man. That's insane. So yeah, obviously, JJ, you, like us and like other many Rays fans, are just salivating at the thought of what Chandler Simpson could do if given some major league time. However, given that he didn't even begin the season in Montgomery, he actually played in Bowling Green 32 games this year, I don't think he will see more than 5 games in 2025, unless something drastically happens with Jose Siri. Jose Siri is shipped off or something like that, and they're like, hey, maybe we can just give this. But I don't think the Rays are going to just speed up the development of Chandler Simpson that much.
That's understandable. So you're kind of looking at a late September call up for a cup of coffee or two.
If at all, if anything. Honestly, if I had a bunch of green Skittles to put on this bet, I would go on the 0 games in 2025.
Okay. Devil's advocate, in 78 games with Montgomery this year, he is slashing 351 batting average. Let's get that correct. 401 on base percentage, 407 slug, 808 OPS. Not bad for a guy to have an above 800 OPS with just 1 home run to his name, and that 1 home run is an inside the Parker.
Yes.
I will say, whenever Chandler Simpson gets the call, there is very little doubt in my mind that I think he is going to be a successful baseball player. I've made the comparison somewhat jokingly, but getting more serious because he keeps just delivering of he's maybe our version of Juan Pierre, maybe our version of Luis Castillo. And I understand the argument that when he gets to a higher level, be it AAA, majors, you have better pitching staffs, better defenses, better scouting reports, better throws. But if you just watch some highlights of this dude, he has a knack for not only making contact. See, what I do dislike is the comparisons to, say, Billy Hamilton and Terrence Gore. I understand the speed angle, but this guy actually has an elite hit tool. Like this guy, I think no matter what level he's at, he's going to hit for a high average. Is he going to hit the ball far? That's to be determined in a waiting game. But there is no doubt in my mind he has such a good feel for hitting that however the defense is setting him up and playing him, he can squeak a ball through. And if he doesn't squeak a ball through, I understand defenses are better, arms are better, guys are a little bit faster getting to the ball, but this is also a generational type speed demon that is a left-handed hitter. So getting out of the box, he's already at first. So I am all aboard the Chandler Simpson train. And when we talk about, yeah.
It's a dynamic player that like we are aching for in a game of baseball where that type of player just is not that common, Kevin. And when we grew up in the 90s, like watching ball, like those guys were out there, man, and they were fun. And I don't see a lot of those guys anymore. Now, okay, let me just say,
you're playing devil's advocate to my devil's advocate.
Of course, babes, that's what we do. So, okay. Having said all of that, and I agree with that, Chandler Simpson is amazing, and I want to see him. I will play devil's advocate by saying, isn't the old adage that every time you go up the rung, you lose 20 to 50 points on your average?
I would say generally, sure.
Right. So if we just cut that pup in half, it's like 35 points. So yeah. Okay. So he'll hit 320-ish in AAA. That's pretty good. You knocking down 300. That's still pretty good in Major League Baseball. I still feel like there's a little bit more of a tax there. I mean, remember, guys, Taylor Walls was a 120 WRC plus guy in AAA.
That's fair. But I guess my point with Simpson is he finds a way to get on base and he doesn't strike out. That's one thing that he doesn't have holes in his swing like so many of these other guys that are selling out for power, trying to be somebody, trying to do something that's not necessarily in their wheelhouse, where I think Chandler Simpson understands his game based on the numbers and based on the highlights and based on everything we've seen. So will he hit 350 at the major league level? No, probably not, but I'll take 290. I'll take 275. I'll take 285. And I really don't care if I don't care if he doesn't hit a single home run in the majors, because every time he's on first,
he's on second or third.
He's going to find his way to get to second and third, and he's going to put so much ample pressure on the opposing battery, pitcher, catcher, and defense that I think it's going to lead to mistakes. And I think he is going to be a guy that can wreak havoc for you in a good way. And you need a diverse set of talent and a diverse lineup. And I think this guy brings diversity to whichever lineup the Rays put in place. Like, yeah, we'd love to have a bunch of power hitters, but do you want a bunch of power hitters that also strike out? You got to have a little
times
bit
a year. I mean, you got to have a little bit of everything. And look, this might be a little bit 2026 fodder for us Rays obsessed fans, but hey, if you're watching this or listening to this, you are there. Okay, you can't be like, oh, I'm kind of a casual. It's September 18th and you're still doing this. We know who you are. Okay. 2026. Who do you think is the most fun player to watch? A guy like Chandler, just wrecking havoc on the bases, just slapping hits the other way. He's going triples when people should probably go maybe a stretch double. He's doing all these amazing things. Or a guy like Xavier Isaac, just mammoth home run after mammoth home run, and just seeing the sheer power to all fields that guy has. Like that 2026, like dichotomy of like, who do you go to the trop for?
Right.
Xavier Isaac bombs or Chandler Simpson's dynamicness? Like that's going to be really cool.
Why not both? But I would almost argue Simpson, because Xavier Isaac hits the ball at the ballpark that's it. But Simpson gets on base, the next 10 to 15 minutes could be an exciting matchup there. And to your point about, maybe getting a very, very late season call up in 2025, I also think that the Rays want to make sure he's totally ready in the outfield and center field. I guess there's probably some argument that there's still a little bit rawness there because he was a second baseman in college. So making sure that, look, right now he can use his speed to make up for taking bad angles or bad routes or getting a late jump. But in the majors, again, balls get hit a little bit faster. They curve a little bit more. There's some quirkiness. You got different outfields to contend with. So I think he's basically in a learning the position off season, a full year at AAA, and bam, boom, he's ready to go. So I think he'll be a really fun player, and hopefully he lives up to the expectations we have levied upon him. I don't think it's, look, we don't want to prospect hug on this podcast. We try not to do that, but I think he's more than a Terrence Score or a Billy Hamilton.
I think so too.
He's more than a bench speed guy. I think the well-roundedness of his offensive approach. I mean, this guy walks more than he strikes out. Should tell you something. He
has like an 8.5% strikeout rate, something less than 10%. I'll take it, man. Like it's going to be really fun. And honestly, I know that, okay, over under 10 games played in 2025 with the Rays.
I'll say over.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really, man?
Hey, he's if he kills it at every level, how can you keep holding him back?
I don't know, but you know what? Tell me where you're going to be making that offering of green Skittles, because I don't know where to go.
Well, one place you could go to is FanDuel, and you've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel. Of course, it is America's #1 sports book. Well, we have something a little different for you now through September 22nd. All FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then, with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out of market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel any time. Just visit FanDuel.com and download America's #1 sportsbook.
We also have to tell you about Game Time. Look, you know how frustrating it can be to get tickets to whatever you're looking for? I know. I just experienced it 2 weeks ago when I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning trying to get Oasis tickets for Dublin concerts in London. And I did not get any of them because it was a crap machinery. Okay. But you know what's not crap? Game Time. Game Time is so easy. I mean, they've got zone deals where you can just say, hey, this is where I want to sit. You, algorithm, pick the seats, and it picks it for you, and you save money. And my favorite, you guys know it. Say it right now in your car, right now, wherever you're listening. What's my favorite one? Yeah, exactly. The seat view. So you can just tap and you get the panoramic view. You know what you're going to be experiencing. It's amazing. So today, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Locked on MLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Hey, Kevin, what time is it?
Game time.
It's game time, babes.
It is. We also want to tell you to make the switch to Locked On Sports Today. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, and news streaming 24/7 on the YouTubes or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. It is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. All right, getting to this second question here, coming from another buddy of ours, Charles McGregor. Charles says, hey, fellas, great work winding down this depressing season. Speaking of depressing, my question has to do with the catching position. Below, I have a list of MLB.com's free agent catchers. Which of these catchers are the Rays most likely to sign, and which of these would you want them to sign the most? Elias Diaz, Gary Sanchez, who has a mutual option, Yasmani Grandal, Danny Jansen, Travis d'Arnaud, who I believe has a team option in 2025, Yan Gomes, Francisco Mejia, Austin Barnes, club option, Omar Narvaez, Carson Kelly, James McCann, Martin Maldonado, club option. Thomas Nido, Austin Nola, Austin Hedges, Jacob Stallings, Max Stassi, club option, and Andrew Knizer. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. That's probably not a good sign.
Knizer, I think.
Knizer, okay.
Yeah.
So there's your list. Go crazy.
Oh God,
Don't
or not at
jump for
all.
all of them at once.
Or not at all, bro. Like, not at all. My gosh. Reading that list doesn't make you hope that Logan Driscoll is the next Adley Rutschman, then read that list.
Which isn't happening, by the way, but I get your point.
Right. But like you read that list and it's like, okay, what do we do? What will Eric Neander do? I mean, honestly, I feel like at this point with those. Oh, by the way, Charles, thank you for writing to us, man. I appreciate it. He's actually a part of our fantasy baseball league, so that's pretty cool.
Yep.
I would go with none of those options first. My first option is none of them.
Okay.
And aim for that catching prospect that is somehow lingering in another organization and that you can tackle with your value in your own farm system or in your major league club. I mean, if you are thinking about giving up a Pete Fairbanks, a Yandy Diaz, a Brennan Lau after you pick up the latter two options, maybe that's something that you can look for. I mean, the last big trade for a catcher, I mean, wasn't it like Ryan Hannigan in like 2014, like something like that?
Big. That's
Rene Rivera, like, I mean, it's been a minute since they've actually, because they picked up Darno throughout in the middle of the season for like what?
in May.
$200,000, like
and
for the Dodgers.
Pick up Ben Rortvedt right before the season. That seems to be the MO, is like wait to the last minute or into the season, and we're kind of SOL here, so we got to make some kind of move and hope it sticks to the wall. But it actually has in those cases to some extent.
But the whole thing is that I think you need to reform the whole catching position, man, and you need to stabilize it, and we need to stop with the one-stop shop gap until a guy comes in. Just get the guy.
Okay.
Go get the guy. And if we can be a little bit negative about 2025, say they don't do anything positively with the bats. Say they don't go get bats, and they're like, you know what? This is a year where we want to really give Curtis Mead the whole year. We want to give Jonathan Aranda the whole year. We want to give Junior Caminero a whole year. And obviously you're going to do that. Christopher Morel, Jose Siri, like this is what we're doing for 2025, even though we have amazing pitching. We didn't do anything with the bats. In that case, go get that young catcher, give him a whole year to be with really good pitchers that he can learn from, that he can get some feedback on, and not have so much stress and pressure of like, I have to perform right now as a rookie or else I'm cut. I'm getting back down to AAA. It's like, no. We know where we are this season. Yeah. If we sneak in, awesome. But right now, just worry about yourself.
So to add on to that, say Travis d'Arnaud doesn't have his team option picked up by the Braves, you wouldn't necessarily want to run it back with him on a 1-year deal.
I would still rather go for that. Is a Ford or whoever, like another kind of catching prospect available yet, or no? Because if they are,
because everybody's available at the end of the day, depending on what you offer a team.
Sure.
So.
Good point. So yeah, in that case, yeah, I would still rather, like, let's get it fixed, man. Let's get that.
You don't want a Band-Aid on it, because Travis d'Arnaud at age 35, 36 years old would probably just be a Band-Aid.
A year and a half, maybe 2. I mean, they didn't want to risk Travis d'Arnaud when he was 4 years younger. They're going to do it now.
Yeah, that's fair. Although he's put up some really good seasons with the Braves the last 4 years. But hey, but now being the Rays track record as they signed Travis d'Arnaud, and that's the year that crap goes kaput, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
I understand that. I mean, I guess I'm just yearning and longing for somebody at the position that can, hit me 15 bombs, bat 250, give me a 750 OPS. And Travis d'Arnaud has shown the ability to do that over the last 4 or 5, 6 years. And I know he is getting up there in age, but he's almost had, my point with Travis d'Arnaud, he's almost had so many injuries during the early portion of his career that it's limited his wear and tear on the field and wearing the catchers of the tools of ignorance, because he's just been rehabbing the entire time. So he doesn't have as many games under his belt, so to speak, as maybe a James McCann, or throw out another name here and there. But I guess a guy who is getting a lot of love in the prospect pool is Dominic Keegan. So maybe the Rays, their MO, like you said, run it back. Let's see what Rortvedt and Logan Driscoll can do together, and then keep developing Keegan in the minors. And maybe he's that
he's the guy.
Cement catcher. Arm Layton seems to be a big fan of him. He has a 137 WRC plus in the minors, and he's mashing changeups with an exit velocity of 115 miles per hour. So I guess that's one guy that maybe we can look forward to. Maybe that is our closest thing to a Henry Ford right now without acquiring one.
I think that's the thing. I'm speaking from, I'm tired of the catching position always being an issue. Right. And you can give me 2018 Wilson Ramos, and you can give me 2019 half of the year with Travis d'Arnaud, and you can give me Mike Zunino's 2021 All-Star season. That's 3 seasons in a span of since 2008.
Yeah, that's bits and pieces.
Bits and pieces. Okay. Oh, you want to put Diego Navarro's 08? Fine. Okay. Then there's 4 in like 25 years. Like, let's be serious. This has always been an issue. So I'm speaking from a point of frustration where I'm like, if you're going to trade value, get that done. Get that cemented. I don't care if you have to overpay that much, because guess what? You're probably not doing too hot in 2025 if you don't supplant the offense. This team is going nowhere in 2025 if you don't address the elephant in the room.
Yeah, with that, real quickly before we move on to the final question here, say the Rays do virtually nothing. They say we get pitchers healthy, ready to go, full season. We're going to give young guys and guys we just acquired opportunities. Want to see more from Palacios and Morel and DeLuca and Aranda and Meade. What's their record? Like 86 wins, 88 wins, maybe. Like, I don't see them, knocking the cover off the ball, literally and figuratively, if they just run it back with their same group that they have right now.
Let me think about it while you tell me about something very important.
Yes, we do have to tell you something very important, and that is arenaclub.com. For most of us that like collecting cards, the idea of spending $2,000 or more on a Luka, Ellie, or Mahomes rookie card just isn't in the cards. You may love collecting, but that's some serious money to drop. Well, thanks to slab packs from arenaclub.com, now it is possible to score gem mints for a fraction of their retail price. Arena Club is the only repack that provides real value, a complete view of all possible cards, and clear hit rates for each one. Right now, you can get 10% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/LockedOnMLB and use code LockedOnMLB. So good, I'll repeat it again. That is arenaclub.com/LockedOnMLB, code LockedOnMLB, LOCKEDONMLB, for 10% off your first purchase. That is arenaclub.com. All right, Ulises, getting to the final mailbag question of the day comes from Elephant 2024 on the YouTube machine. Elephant, who could be a he, a she, a they, a mammal, I don't know, a bot. Either way, interesting point here. It's a shame that the Rays and Red Sox for that matter, are not in better position going into these last 2 weeks. The games between them would have an entirely different feeling. Nobody has really taken command of that last AL wildcard spot. The Twins are sputtering, while the Tigers are oncoming, and right behind them, as are the Mariners.
100%. I couldn't agree more. I mean, this is not 2021 vibes, is it, Kevin?
No, it's not. And it's funny because now we're in 2024, and maybe I've been so away from what the Red Sox are doing or not doing, but I guess we haven't had like a meaningful Rays Red Sox series since 2021, because in 2022 the Sox finished last in the division. In 2023 the Sox finished last in the division.
Can I be real but edgy-ish?
Sure. We love it. Battle of Mid. That's what we have this week.
Battle of Mid.
Yeah, that'd be accurate. The Red Sox are 500. The Rays are 73 and 77.
Battle of Mid, bro. I mean, and hey, you know, that happens. It sucks because we know what the Trop is like when these two fans hate each other. And it's really fun. It's really fun. It gets to the point where like your adrenaline is going, man.
You could argue that maybe those series are more impactful and punchy and raucous and rowdy than a Rays Yankees series.
You know why? Because I feel like a Yankee fan, there's more of the, hey, I like the Yanks, I'm casual as F. And then if you're a Red Sox fan and you're doing that drive, it's more like, I like my Sox. By the way, these are horrible accent impersonations, but like I like my socks, my coffee, and my socks. Wicked.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, you probably have some more, I guess, bandwagon Yankees fans, while if you're a Red Sox fan, you're probably more of the diehard approach. And there's a lot of people, I guess, that moved down from New York to Tampa, and okay, they, you know, I don't know, there's something there with maybe more bad blood between Red Sox and Rays than Rays and Yankees, but I'll digress from all that. I guess, you know, one of the big questions too going forward is, you know, which team's going to be better in 2025? That's really the only thing to talk about and invent upon, and that might have to be a topic for a later time, is which team is better positioned to finish higher in the division and with a greater record, because I don't really know the answer to that.
No, this
what's a healthy Rays team going to do? What's a healthy Red Sox team going to do? We know the Red Sox have the financial capability to make additions and changes in the offseason to their liking, where the Rays are more unlikely to do that.
I feel like Elephant 2024, great point there. It's a shame. It's a shame. This whole 2024 season is a shame, and especially with this rivalry. I mean, you had 6 games at the end of the season. Imagine if like they were battling for the 3rd, 4th spot, the 2nd and 3rd spot, like just playing for something. Like, yeah, maybe they're playing right now for like keeps and like, okay, who might be a little bit better, but they're, again, like I said with my YouTube gag, Battle of Mid.
Well, I think that maybe MLB, the people that make the schedules, were expecting this to be a meaningful series before the schedules were unveiled months and months and months ago. So there it is. You know, we got to look, the Red Sox are highly unlikely to make the playoffs either, but at least the Rays can, you know, play spoiler and really put the nail in the coffin with them, and, you know, maybe send them home with a losing record when it's all said and done. All right. Great questions from everybody. We appreciate it. Keep them coming. LockedOnRays@gmail.com. You can send us an email. You can send us a tweet. You can send us an Instagram message. We love the voice memos as well. You can send those to us, LockedOnRays@gmail.com. In the meantime, hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.